Hi, Charlene back from Radical Feng Shui with Charlene, and I'm here with my beautiful daughter Esperanza. Hi Esper.
Hi Mom.
It's so great to have you here, sharing your information with me. And so I'm opening the forum here to Esperanza to explain how important it is, the work she does in terms of nature spirits.
I am classified as a wildland forest firefighter. I've been doing this work this will be my 10th year fighting fire in the woods. I'm in nature every day other than when I'm in the office, which I hate being in the office. I'd rather be in nature, but I love it. It's I get to protect one of the most important things on this earth, which is trees, and now more communities and homes and people. But
yeah, and she's had the luck to be in a community which is mostly First Nations, and her boundary firefighters, like they have different groups in different areas, her closest neighbor were also First Nations. So she's learned this craft, and she's now in a more of a supervisory position with other people. So she's learned a lot over the years, and I'm curious to know the experience living in First Nations community, what you've learned and what you've learned about being with them and how they fight fires and their history and how it will help us in the future.
Well, I mean, when I first joined the crew, they talked a lot about their history because there's a lot of pride in being a firefighter, especially in the First Nations communities. I mean, they made up the majority of the firefighting crews in BC. Like, our crew started in 1989, so it's been around for a long time, and it was all First Nations. And the biggest thing that the First Nations know about fire is how to utilize fire to fight fire. And not just to fight fire, but to also clean up the forest floor of all of the excess debris that gunks up and creates, the fire activity that we have now is a buildup. It's a buildup of fuel, and we haven't been using the indigenous practices that we were using for millennia before. So one thing that I've learned really is just how powerful using fire is in a healthy way.
Right.
Bringing back the traditions of the First Nations and allowing, I think right now it's just really educating communities that aren't used to that tactic, and just letting communities know, like, we have to be putting fire on the ground in the fall and in the spring to be getting rid of those fine fuels, so that when fires do come through the smaller communities, it doesn't end up being complete disaster. So
one of the things Esper is referring to is that these practices were done for many, many years by First Nations people, and at some point the government outlawed the burning of fires in the spring and the fall to deal with the debris underground. So it's been built up over the years, which is, like Esper just explained, why it's pretty intense right now. So they've just, a year and a half ago, 2 years, they made a sweet video about how these practices are now being brought back into the Forestry Service.
2021, most people know, the show just came out and it features it, but the town of Lytton burned down in 21, and last year we were able to conduct a pretty large scale burn right outside of Lillooet, because Lillooet's not too far from Lytton, and we're in the hot spot in BC. It gets up to anywhere from 40 to, can get up closer to 50 degrees Celsius in the middle of the summer. So
that's cooking.
It's hot, and we got to start using these practices again. And so luckily BC Wildfire is able to pair with the bands, and we're able to put on some more large scale burns on the outskirts of communities and have the community be involved in that. So it's nice to see.
Absolutely. We're not just talking about the animals and the people and the land that's been cultivated and their homes. We're talking about the nature spirits that are affected by this, and how in tune the First Nations were around all of that. And so happy you shared that with me, Esper, because what you do for work is very important. I'm very proud of her, and I just want to share more stuff with you around that type of thing in my practice and in my work. Charlene here from Radical Feng Shui. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Esperanza, for being here. I love being here with this lovely woman.
Thanks for birthing me.
Ciao.